Good morning or good afternoon to those of you who are joining me. This is Mary Ann Foreman. I'm a realtor with Taylor Properties, and this is week 2 of Clients First. This is a hyper-local, hyper-intense information session with home transaction purchase experts. Today's guest is Devorah Livney, who is a mortgage loan officer at Fulton Mortgage Bank. So today, Devorah is going to explain a little bit about how we started working together, how I got to know her. And at the time, I had just become a Live Baltimore partner, so I was looking to connect with affiliated Live Baltimore partners, and Fulton Bank is a big supporter of the Live Baltimore program. So Devorah, if you want to just start and tell everybody a little bit about how you became a mortgage lender, and then how you saved that transaction for me when I was representing a seller last year. And then we'll talk to them a little bit about the Home Buyer Advantage Plus mortgage that is unique to Fulton Mortgage, and you can explain the benefits of that program. So, Devorah, please.
Thanks, Mary Ann. Okay, so I got my start in the lending business quite a while ago. I've been doing housing and working within the field of advocacy with home buyers, and I work with reverse mortgages. The mortgages that I do now are more or less, trying to help people that are looking to structure their loans, utilizing the grants and the special down payment assistance programs that are available, and to try to demystify this process. And of course, everybody is unique, so each loan has to be considered what's best for each client so that we're able to utilize the full capacity of the borrower's income, assets, grants, and get them into the best home possible to meet their budget and their long-term goals, and to also have it be sustainable. And I think the way that I work is really very client oriented, to really dive deep and seeing what's important to each borrower and to work from there. And the client that Mary Ann and I had first started working with really needed a lot of help, was floundering in a loan going nowhere, not going to close. And a housing counselor contacted me, knew the kind of work that we do here at Fulton, and said, Devorah, you've got to save this loan. This is a really important loan to save, because this young man had put his own money into fixing up the property before closing. And there was a big investment in there. And I took a look at it and we put it together. He was able to utilize his grants, was able to get closed within the time frame that the seller was looking to close by, and it was a very smooth transaction. And Mary Ann and I had talked about it afterwards, and I said, this is what we do every day at Fulton. This is the kind of work that we believe in. It's part of our Fulton Forward, which you can see on the flyer. It's about making our communities stronger, providing these opportunities to home buyers so that they can become part of their communities as homeowners. And, I'm looking to work with each person to see how we can get this to happen, how we can get them to the closing table, and to minimize, how much they have to put out of their own funds if they're trying to really maximize their savings of money that they may have in the bank. Let's try to use all these other programs and make it so that when you start off at home ownership, you have your little nest egg, your cushion, so that you don't have to feel like you put everything you ever had into that house, and now what? You get the key and now you're nervous. No, we want you to go into it with the satisfaction knowing that you closed and now you're ready to go into the next chapter. And Mary Ann and I have the same perspective. We want to help each borrower meet their maximum potential with the whole home buying process.
Also, Devorah, I just wanted to move people forward in time from that wonderful transaction you saved back in October and November for one of my clients. I was representing them selling the home forward. So what happened, I want to just explain to everyone, is it was such a smooth transaction, and I saw that the young man was being so well represented by the lender, actually, not necessarily by their realtor, but the way the lender put the package together to protect the young man. As she was saying, he had his startup money, he had his seed money, and he had some cushion. So I had a buyer come to me who was using another type of, I think she was using a mortgage broker, and therefore she did not have access to any of these grant monies. And she had great credit, she had savings. So the first opportunity I had to bring someone back to Devora, I did. And Devora's bank has this special program where, as a conventional loan, it allows up to 6% in closing costs, which normally it's only 3%. And I believe you are able to use a special Fulton closing cost assistance program. You want to tell us a little bit, without divulging my client's name or anything, just tell us how you put together those two programs, how they work for Fulton and how they're unique.
Yes, so this is a very, very exclusive loan for Fulton. This is our own product. And what it does is it takes some of the features that were giving people an opportunity with FHA loans, which are government loans, which mainly has the 6% seller's help. 6% seller's help is money that would be coming based on the purchase price. So, for example, you're buying a $200,000 house. Normally, with a conventional loan, you'd be able to get a 3% seller's help, which would be $6,000. But in many cases, especially if you're buying in Baltimore City, the taxes and the cost could exceed that, and still cause people to have to reach a little deeper to find extra money. With the Homebuyer Advantage Plus, you're able to get up to 6%. And you may not even need 6%, but you know that whatever you need would most likely be covered with the seller's help on this program. And then the nice thing is you can use the other grants that you might be eligible for, not to necessarily have to cover your closing costs, but it could go toward your down payment. So in the scenario that Mary Ann is referring to, this young lady came to closing and actually got money back. She got her, I believe, most of her earnest money deposit back, and I think also a percentage of her home appraisal fee. So she started home ownership with everything basically covered, and we were able to also use another grant that we stacked along with this program. And she started home ownership, in a state of almost disbelief. Like, I didn't think that this was possible, that I could go into a home purchase and not have to deplete all of my savings, which when I first started working with her, she was on an FHA loan, which is very common with a lot of people starting off on their first home. A lot of the lenders are saying, go with an FHA loan. It's the way to go. With this program, you actually are saving 0.5% in down payment. So you don't have to come up with 3.5% down payment. Again, let's use our example of a $200,000 home. 3.5% of that is 7,000. Okay, so if you have 7,000 that's needed for a down payment with FHA, whereas with the Homebuyer Advantage Plus, you only need 3%, 6,000.
Okay. So I do believe that that particular client was got a check at settlement for $987.43. I do remember, because I do recall. So what is Fulton doing now in the new economy? Are the FICO scores a little different? How are we addressing those things now?
Yeah, so it's still evolving, and I think it's settled in a little bit since everything first started. On the Homebuyer Advantage Plus, it was previously a 620 credit score required. Now it is a 660. We have another no PMI loan. I want to mention the no mortgage insurance feature of this as well. There's
Oh,
no
yes, that's very important.
no requirement for mortgage insurance. So for borrowers, when they're first starting to look at homes and they are starting to get pre-qualifications, and if they're in an FHA loan, keep in mind that that mortgage insurance goes for the whole 30 years of the loan. It does not go away. Even if you build up a lot of equity in the home, you still will have mortgage insurance as part of your mortgage payment with an FHA loan. With the conventional loans, if you have a lower credit score, like say your credit score is a 700 or 680 or 640, your mortgage insurance is going to be based on what is your credit score, what kind of a risk the lender sees. So the lower the credit score, the more expensive mortgage insurance becomes. And
Mhm.
again, it's not to help the borrower, it's helping the lender. So the borrower is paying for the insurance. They're not getting their personal benefit out of it, but it is helping the lender, assume the risk of taking on this borrower. With our no PMI loans, Fulton is absorbing that risk. We do require that there is going to be a home buying counseling requirement. So you'd have to go through HUD counseling classes, whether they're through Baltimore City or you do a program through Fannie Mae called Framework, which is an online course. We want our borrowers to be educated and aware of their responsibilities as a homeowner. But the no PMI is very, very good in that it does not cost them extra money in their monthly payment. And for those that are not aware of what goes into a mortgage payment, it includes your principal and your interest and your taxes, which are typically your property taxes, and your homeowner's insurance. And then if you have mortgage insurance, that's on top of all of that. So saving that money really can actually help someone maybe afford a house that's in a different price bracket. It'll actually save them money from what they thought they were going to have to spend for the house of their choice. They see a house and they went maybe to another lender and had a pre-qualification. Maybe now they can save that $100, $120 off that mortgage and put it toward their overall household budget. So
Oh,
that's,
right.
yeah.
Okay. Well,
So
I just wanted to thank you again, Devora, for giving our viewers on the Facebook and YouTube and Instagram platforms or wherever this is going to be shared a very in-depth look at two Fulton mortgage company programs. I do hope that people are going to reach out to Devora if you need help understanding the home buying process and the loan process. As you can tell, she's very transparent with the information. And of course, you can always reach out to me. Thanks again. I'm Mary Ann with Taylor Properties, and it's been a pleasure